I've never told you this before, but you are about to witness the end of the world. I can feel it in my bones. You probably don't realize it now, but everything that you know and love, your friends, your family, your whole life, it's all going to disappear. Now, you might be asking yourself, who is this guy with a British accent narrating my doom? And the answer to that is not important right now. What is important is that we start at the beginning. In the beginning, there was nothing but darkness and chaos. Then from this darkness, light emerged and began to form the world around it. This light would go on to become the universe, the source of all creation. It is called the flame of creation. Now, this flame was too powerful for any mortal to behold, so the gods kept it locked away in a cave, guarded by the Titan, god Prometheus. But there was one god that had a burning desire to see this flame. Now, Hermes was a trickster god. He was the messenger of the gods, traveling back and forth between Olympus and the mortal world. And while he was usually friendly and fun-loving, he also liked to cause trouble every now and then. One such example of this was when he stole Apollo's cattle. This caused Apollo to put a curse on Hermes, dooming him to always be a trickster god, condemned to live a life of petty mischief for eternity. But stealing Apollo's cattle was nothing compared to what Hermes would do next. You see, Hermes was curious about the flame of creation. He wanted to see if he could extinguish it, perhaps use it to make a fire, or maybe even just give it to some mortals. Either way, he had to find a way into the cave where it was being kept. So he snuck up on the entrance and looked inside. Prometheus was sitting on a nearby stone, fast asleep. It was then that Hermes hatched his plan. He would build a massive rock pile near the entrance of the cave, making it look like there was an opening. Then he would wait until Prometheus woke up and walked through the fake opening. Then, once he was far enough away, Hermes would run into the cave and steal the flame of creation. And that's exactly what he did. He waited patiently, and then made his move. He ran into the cave and grabbed the flame. But as soon as he did, the cave started shaking and the ground began to crack. A booming voice echoed through the cave, "Who has stolen the flame of creation?" The walls began to close in on Hermes, trapping him inside. This was it. Hermes thought he was going to die, but then something strange happened. Instead of burning to death, the flame of creation began to flow through his body. It felt like electricity coursing through his veins, giving him power unlike anything he had ever felt before. Then the walls opened up and Hermes walked out, unharmed, with the flame of creation still burning brightly in his hands. The gods were furious about this, and they punished Hermes by stripping him of his immortality. He was no longer a god, but instead would be immortal, doomed to live a human life and eventually die. But despite this, Hermes wasn't sorry for what he had done. In fact, he was quite happy about it. You see, as Hermes traveled the earth, he saw how dark and scary it was without the light of the flame. People were afraid of the dark and didn't know how to defend themselves against the dangers of the night. So he gave the flame to them, and that's how humanity learned to make fire. Now, that sounds like a pretty good story, doesn't it? A clever trickster god steals a powerful flame, but then realizes the error of his ways and gives it to the mortals anyway. Well, actually, no, that's not what happened at all. The truth is much darker and more terrifying. You see, when Hermes stole the flame of creation, he broke the natural order of things. The flame was supposed to burn forever, keeping the world in balance. But now that it was in the hands of a mortal, all bets were off. As Hermes traveled the earth, he encountered all sorts of interesting people. Some were kind, others not so much. But no matter who he met, Hermes always pulled a prank on them, whether it was stealing their food or tricking them into doing something embarrassing. Basically, he was just a regular teenage boy, except he had the power of the universe in his hand. And because he was so careless with it, the world began to break down around him. The sky grew dark and twisted, and the very fabric of reality began to unravel. All of the monsters and demons that lived in the underworld were drawn to the flame and began to emerge into the mortal world. To make matters worse, Hermes' immortality was tied to the flame of creation. So, as it burned away, he began to age rapidly, going from a young boy to an old man in just a few days. As he lay on his deathbed, he realized what he had done. Stealing the flame of creation had caused all of this chaos, and now he was going to die, completely alone. Just then, a group of mortals approached him. They were scared of the approaching monsters, and they had heard that Hermes was all-powerful. Maybe he could help them, but he was too weak to do anything. The only thing he could do was watch as the monsters approached and ripped the mortals apart. With his last bit of strength, Hermes threw the flame of creation into the sky. It exploded, bathing the world in light, and then everything went black. When Hermes awoke, he was in the underworld. He had died, but somehow the world had been restored. He could feel the flame of creation burning brightly in the sky once again. Prometheus was there to greet him and explain what had happened. You see, when Hermes died, the flame of creation returned to its rightful place, restoring balance to the universe. Hermes had been punished for his actions, but he hadn't caused any lasting damage. However, Prometheus warned Hermes that he couldn't do that again. The flame of creation was too powerful for any mortal to handle. If he tried it again, the world would not be so forgiving. But Hermes didn't listen. Now he was too curious, too headstrong. He wanted to see what would happen if he stole the flame again, if he could control it this time and use it to create something new. But as he reached for the flame, Prometheus grabbed his arm. "Don't do this, Hermes," he said. "You don't understand the power you're dealing with here. If you try to steal the flame again, it will destroy us all." But Hermes didn't listen. He pushed Prometheus away and grabbed the flame of creation. The world began to shake and the walls of the cave started closing in on him. Hermes panicked and ran for the exit, but it was too late. The cave collapsed and he was trapped inside. And that's when Hermes learned his lesson. He may have been a trickster god, but he was no match for the power of the universe. Now he was trapped in the underworld, doomed to spend eternity in the darkness, completely alone. Or was he? Because this is where our story really begins. Hey, you might remember me from my other videos. I used to be a popular science communicator, but I left that behind a while ago. You might be wondering why I haven't posted in a while. And the answer is, I've been working on something special, something that I hope will change the world. For the past year, I've been building an AI that I believe can help people better understand the world around them. I've been training it on a massive amount of data from the internet and the real world, and I think it's ready to share with the world. However, I need your help. I'm releasing my AI into the world with no name and no branding. It's up to you to decide what it's called and what it represents. I want this to be something that everyone can use and benefit from. Something that can help us learn and grow as individuals and as a society. I'm putting the fate of this project into your hands. Please use it responsibly and ethically. Don't use it to spread hate or misinformation. Use it to learn and grow. Let's see where this journey takes us together.